Howdy ho, folks. The day is Wednesday, January 7th. 5:44 p.m. is the time, and it is a extremely nice 2 degrees Celsius. All that nonsense from last night has let up. I see some people in the chat already. Alicia Lewis, Mark M, Leo Chung, Jillian Felix, Medano, Zach McNally, Alicia Lewis, Jillian Scott. I might have already said your name. Alex is here. Satadru is here. Susie from TO, Naded, Joseph, and everyone else. Thank you so much for tuning in. I didn't really have any ideas as to where I could go for a live stream today or where I wanted to go, but I'll be doing a video not too far from here after this tonight, so I thought let's do a little live stream. There I am. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you can see and hear everything a-okay. Let me just do a quick test. Do a little live stream. Johnny, it's going up to 12 on Friday, says Carl Roth. This is a bit of an experimental live stream because you'll notice my right hand is free. I am using my left hand. What happened was at the end of last live stream, I had found myself in quite a bit of back pain. And after consulting a doctor and doing some research, it seems I have developed a bit of an imbalance between my left and my right side. I was doing some single-legged rear deadlifts today, and I could do them on my right leg no problem, holding a 20-pound kettlebell. But when I tried to do them on my left hand or my left leg, I was shaky and wobbly all over. So despite doing regular deadlifts and weighted squats all year, my left side has a lot of catching up to do, and that apparently contributed to a lot of the back pain I was experiencing. So I'm going to keep working on that. Also, I've been almost exclusively doing all of these live streams holding the gimbal in my right hand, favoring my right side this whole time. So this is a bit weird, trying to get used to using the left hand, but we'll be able to do that eventually, I hope. Chris Mills says there's a joke in there somewhere. Brad Palmer's here. So I don't know how long this live stream is going to be. We'll go up to Finch and maybe beyond Finch. Maybe I'll turn around and come back. Like I said, I don't know. Christos is here. My left arm is already getting tired holding this thing. Oh well, at least my good punching hand is free. That's always a bonus for security purposes. But we're in North York, We're going north up Yonge Street on the east side. This is Shepherd Avenue straight ahead. Chris Mills says the audio is a-okay. I'm using the wireless, but I relocated the microphone to be dead center and a little bit closer, so hopefully it's coming in a-okay. But thanks for the confirmation, Chris Mills. This is the intersection of Yonge and Shepherd. I know I was here last month. I think I was here in December, but just felt like a good place to go to tonight. Stay away from downtown for a little bit. I've been streaming from there constantly lately. It was either in November or December. I headed east on Shepherd over to Bazarian. Jeanette is here. Greetings, Jeanette. Hope all is well. And sorry about this morning's premiere. The YouTube servers were quite atrocious. It was just jumping and buffering. This is a problem we had a few months ago, but it seems to have reared its ugly head back as we pan up at some buildings. Johnny, how are you? I am good. Just kind of relaxed all day. Watched some YouTube, watched the markets. Procrastinated on getting out and doing some work. I've been trying to take it easier this year. Greetings, Dutchman and Ashley, High and Low Retro. Happy New Year, by the way. You're kind of late. Thank you. And we already have 250 viewers. Thank you so much. Korean, eat healthy. The Bone Biscuit. This is the Yonge Shepherd Center. There's a Longo's in there, Five Guys. Got a pizza across the street. Greetings, Mr. Landry. Transit mobile scooter, Darren. Greetings. Modu 3 Brothers, that's new. If you're hungry for Asian food, this neighborhood is definitely a good choice. Willowdale. There's a Paris baguette, or Paris baguette as they call it in Korea, where that chain is from. This is Greenfield Avenue. Anderson Horse says, I love Canada. Greetings, Nadine Pearl, Cold Hard Toronto. Your daughter works close to here. She's getting overwhelmed with Asian choices for lunch. That checks out. D-Connect says, so many times I look up at my TV and it looks like a beautiful painting. Great job, Johnny. Love your channel. Thank you. Starling. Let me just read the rest of that when I cross the street. I would like to give a shout out to Medano 1973, Starling 222. Thank you. Shout out to moderator extraordinaire Medano, and thank you, Starling. There's a Federal Government of Canada office, as a viewer just pointed out. You get your passport done there. I went to the one in Little Italy on College. Perhaps very soon I'll be using that new passport to hop on a plane and head overseas. Pita Light across the street.
Did she give you the name of the guy?
Carl loves how the streets of Toronto look so much better at night. It can be a pretty city. In the first 5 years I was doing this channel, this was just a wall of construction on this side of the street. It's nice that it's finally kind of opened up. Greetings, Marie Palmer, Flick Hunter, Jeff Kennedy. The gang's almost all here. Thank you, guys. I'm doing my best to keep to the left hand on this one, but I will not lie, my arm is quite sore already. Years and years of doing this exclusively with my right arm. Which wouldn't even feel the least bit tired after doing this for a few hours. Yeah, my left arm wants to tap out after what? 12 minutes? Nadine asking, how's my back? It's good. It seems to be muscular because that type of pain always creeps up after about an hour and a half of walking or so. So I'm trying not to favor my right side so much, hence the gimbal on the left side. I've been doing some single leg deadlifts, RDLs, where I discovered the left side of my body is much, much weaker than the right side. I could barely balance myself to do a few. So all those two-legged deadlifts and squats, I was probably subconsciously, or without realizing it, favoring my right side. Chris Mills says back pain is a pain. But yeah, it was agonizing at the end of my last live stream. I don't often go running for a seat on the subway. I'll kind of stand there, and if there's something wide open I might sit, but I don't normally jockey for position to get on the train and get a seat. But I found myself doing that after the last live stream. But my plan was to come up here, do a stream. There's a video I want to do right after this, kind of in this area. Cost to get a passport here in the US is $165. I think it's somewhat similar here. Johnny needs to hire a camera carrying caddy. If I could afford that, I would probably still not do it. No pain, no gain, right? We gotta, yeah, Jeanette Chipotle, build up the muscle memory with the left arm. And I guess basic strength with it. Joanna, towards Massage Fund, not the happy ending kind. thank you for the $2.79. No comment, but if I'm paying for a massage, there might just be a happy ending. Just kidding. But thank you for the super. Cheers to you. Yeah, I can make it up to Elmwood here. But it's a pretty nice night, all things considered. It's about 1 or 2 degrees. There's a gentle breeze, but nothing freezing. No gloves. Well, I have a glove on my left hand. Oh, this used to be Jack Astor's Faux en Vue. There's one of these opening at Yonge and Eglinton, where Spring Rolls used to be. Am I going somewhere specific on this walk? Just a just to the subway or TTC. Oh, North York has some holiday lights up over at Mount Lassman Square. Maybe we'll hop across the street. Wait for a break in traffic because there is no safe crossing here for a while. Vivian Johnson, late dues are owed, but thank you for tuning in. And I looked down and saw we have 416 viewers. It's a solid number in this city. OG area code. Got some Christmas decorations. Festive tree presented by the Young North York BIA. Holy cow, Alex! Happy New Year, Johnny. I'm in Toronto. I flew in a couple of days ago. I'm going to stay here for 2 weeks. I need to take a break from all the chaos happening in the US. Alex, welcome to Canada, eh? Hopefully you're enjoying your stay, and thank you so much for the very, very generous super chat. Certainly has been a chaotic well, it's been a chaotic year down south. Edam Morongo, sorry if I mispronounced that. Hey Johnny, I'll be in Toronto and Little Italy in a few days. Do you think it's safe to ride the TTC with a 3-year-old kid these days? Well, welcome to Toronto in advance. Little Italy is a great area, and yeah, it's perfectly safe. Just Obviously, don't leave them unaccompanied and follow your normal safe practices with the little one, but you'll be fine. You see lots of families and people with dogs and infants on the TTC. It's quite normal. I don't think you'll have too much to worry about. Vivian, I will put this in the late fee jar. Vivian Johnson, thank you so much. Vivian checking in. Ooh, I'm gonna put my phone down for a minute. Give my left arm a break. How's that for a nice view? That's the former North York City Hall. Now it's just a government office. We'll hang out here for a minute and I'll get going. 6:05. I just got a WhatsApp from someone saying they used to live in a condo right here. Thanks for all the supers and the support as well. Do you go to a chiropractor? No, I just go to a happy ending masseuse. Just kidding. Our Toronto says, wow, I'm in your neighborhood. Marg D, greetings, Jess. Marge, $5 as per our prior conversation. Marge. I do not know what this prior conversation you speak of is, but thank you very much for the $5 and welcome aboard, Marg D. And if you're wondering why I'm putting the phone down, I'm taking a little rest. I'm going with the left hand as long as I can with the gimbal tonight. I'm feeling like quite a bit of pain here. This is very different. In terms of like working out, I'm able to curl 35 pounds, regular curl. I can do hammer curls at like 38 pounds, 3 sets of 12 reps. And you know, I can do all kinds of heavy lifting, but just holding a gimbal like this, man, it is putting a lot of strain on my arm. It is not something I'm used to doing. It's more of a static hold than a lift. So I'm trying not to favor my right side, so I'm favoring my left side. Did I pull a muscle while working out? Asks Ashley Stewart. No, I just talked to a doctor and Gemini as well, and it turns out that I've most likely been favoring my right side when I do these live streams. And then I did some single leg RDLs, and that definitely confirmed my right side is a hell of a lot stronger than my left. At least in terms of below the waist. So just trying something a little different. Transit mobile scooter, just be safe, Darren. Very friendly guy. I had the pleasure of meeting Darren last year over on Eglinton West. Thank you very much, Darren. Darren makes some videos out on his scooter. He gets a very different perspective of the city. There was a couple of people behind me waiting to get a view from that area. That's a good cue to turn around. It's also harder to read the text on my phone holding this with the left hand. I think I'm not in sync with the natural sort of up and down movement of walking. My eyes aren't following the screen as well. Oh well, I'll get used to it. There's a Dollarama across the street. I just read a dollar store at Gerrard Square, the Scary Square. Gerrard Scare just closed down. That was like an independent dollar store that a lot of people were quite fond of. That area's had a lot of places closed recently with the Ontario line construction. Yeah, let's cross back over. That's also where Loblaws recently closed. We're at Empress Walk. A lot of changes going on. Hey, another super. Let me just finish crossing the road. Hey Johnny, I just realized you're walking in my neighborhood. Enjoy it. Jay Patchis, or Packus, sorry if I mispronounced that. But thank you so much for the super. It's a pleasure to be in your hood. As I fail to turn the camera around. Thurlow misses the indie dollar stores. The one thing Dollarama eventually brought was like kind of trusted name brands to dollar stores. Before then, or before they started getting sued for carrying a lot of sketchy stuff in like the mid-2000s. You'd go into a Dollarama and it would be like a bottle that looked like Head & Shoulders, but it was some other brand. Same with all their other products, but it's mostly like trustable name brand stuff now. Let's see if the supermarket's open yet. This is where Loblaws used to be. And used to get a really nice view down into the supermarket. No. That's crazy. They ripped out the escalators going down. Sweet Frost Gaming. Hello from Jane and Finch. Happy New Year, Johnny. Sweet Frost Gaming. Thank you oh so much, and Happy New Year to you as well. Much appreciated, Sweet Frost Gaming. Oh, they got one of those Moxie stores. It's like a fake Korean store. It's really Chinese. They got a movie theater up top. When Cineplex and Famous Players merged, they kept this one and closed the Cineplex over at the Shepherd Center. There's an F-45. I see someone rocking the battle ropes in there. It's a neat little urban mall. Better than the Yonge Eglinton Center where I live. But thank you guys so much for the super chats and the support as I struggle with my left arm. But let's go outside and keep moving north. Apparently a TNT, which is owned by the Weston family. It's part of the Loblaws chain of stores. It used to be an independent Asian grocery store, but Loblaws bought it. Is moving into that spot. All right, experiment over. I'm gonna switch to my right hand for a little bit. Oh, that's the good stuff. Oh boy, that is so much easier and less awkward. White SUV honking up a storm. There's a PetSmart, Shop Smart, Shop PetSmart. Army of Darkness fans would get that reference. Greetings, Trojan Elk Explorer. Yeah, there's a dude in shorts. What a weirdo. As we look east along the street, Sandy says, "Happy Wednesday, Brad and everyone you have missed." Welcome to the stream, Sandy. Good to see you here. Headed north up towards Finch. A lot of puddles to navigate. Oh, look at this. Barber shop. Old school cut only. That's a really, really neat looking space. It's probably a lot more expensive than an actual old school barbershop. Online, does.ca, old school cuts, does hair club at IG. Chicken on the rocks. I have not eaten. There's a really, really good pho restaurant up by Finch I ate at after one live stream last winter. Lisa's here. Good evening. Lambo roasted lamb. Boutique Soul. Faux 88. I remember when that place opened up here. I wonder if Action Kid ever comes back to this side of the ocean, if he'll still go to Faux. Where he is, it's like $2-3 for a delicious bowl of beef rice noodles. But not so much here. Okay, about 5 times that amount. Place has been here forever. Look at this sidewalk. Pick your poison, puddles or slush. This says the sidewalk is trash. Another 3 months of this, indeed. I'm just gonna slip a glove on my hand. It's getting just chilly enough to warrant that. Imagine when that freezes. That's a reason to salt the sidewalks. Yang's braised chicken rice. Hot Home, Noodle Legend, Cha Bar. More Vietnamese coming up. Lisa says it's going to be like 9 degrees on Friday. That's nice. Looking forward to that. A few years ago, someone who managed this St. Louis was in on the chat and said, hey, come on in anytime. I haven't yet gone in. I wonder if that guy is still there. I go to the one near Yonge and Eglinton somewhat often, at least during the summer. I've been to the one at Yonge and St. Clair. Some ramen. Gamer rice bowl, Japanese. Mr. Fish. You will not see me eating at Mr. Fish. Hey, Gertej is here. Speaking of supermarkets, there's a Metro. Kimchi Chan, $5. Pan-fried, savory flour-based pancake with spicy cabbage. I had one of those with Korean barbecue a few weeks back. Beef dumpling, $1.50 for 2 pieces. Normally they call it mandu in Korea. I'm surprised they're using dumpling as the name. Thick noodle soup, meatball, pan-fried rice cake and sausage. Baby crabs. I remember seeing baby crabs once in Myeongdong in Seoul. One of the street food vendors there was selling it. That's a fantastic place to get street food. It's probably not much warmer than here. Church Avenue, is that the same as Church and Wellesley? No. This is very much a different one. Miss Fish is better. Gertej asking any more traveling plans? Stay tuned. My poor Aeroplan account has been rated of points. That should tell you what you need to know. I spent about 140,000 Aeroplan points recently. That is all I will say. A whole year of scrounging up points, almost all gone. I also, one of my flights to Las Vegas, I bought purely on Aeroplan points. I got about 1.8 cents per point. 2 cents is like the optimal redemption, but usually that just applies to like long hauls and business class flights. Hey, a super. Loy, $5 super sticker. How's it going? Thank you very much, Loy. Cheers to you. How's it going as well? Hope all is well. Lisa rocking her tiny violin. I mentioned before. Yeah, what are you doing? How about not turning into the person walking and waiting? There's a cyber truck. I mentioned before how much I like this plaza with all the little stores and stuff they have in there. I mean, I get where that guy's coming from. He's like, I wasn't gonna hit you, I saw you, but turning into a pedestrian while they're actively crossing and then braking at the last second, how the hell are they supposed to trust that you're gonna stop? Like, if I get hit there, some idiot will be like, well, you should have looked and seen him coming. Well, I did look and see them coming. I'm just supposed to assume the guy's gonna like go full stop into a turn and then brake at the last second? Or how about you hold your horses and don't initiate your turn until it's clear? Or if you must turn like that, just do it very slowly. Lisa says so many people do that. And if you're the pedestrian, what are you supposed to do? Like, you see it coming, so you're supposed to stop and just let them like barrel in front of you? Like, I was on my toes ready to jump out of the way. I can't trust that they're gonna brake in time. And then they just look at you like, what? I was gonna stop. Pine House Cafe. I went to one of these cafes on a live stream once, remember? I picked up a Angus faux house. Picked up a iced latte that was quite excellent. This restaurant's really popular in Koreatown. LOI with another super sticker. LOI, thank you so much. Cheers to you. tax. Let us do it. Softron tax. Tax season is almost upon us. What is it, March 2nd, the day you can start filing? It's also the last day to make an RRSP contribution.
No way, Johnny?
That's me, yeah.
No way. Nice to meet you, man.
Hi, sorry.
I've been waiting years to finally meet you on a walk.
Awesome. Yeah, we're live right now.
Oh, nice. I guess I'll see you in the YouTube video. Nice.
Yeah. You live in the area?
Yeah, I live in the area.
Awesome. Your name?
Chris.
Chris, well, nice to meet you.
Nice. Just wanted to say I love your videos, man.
Awesome.
But yeah,
well,
nice to see you.
Have a good night.
Take care.
Cheers. Friendly viewer? I saw him reaching for his earphone and I figured he was gonna say hello. It's always fun to run into a friendly face like that. It's probably going out to one of these awesome restaurants. It's a really cool bar. This is one of the best neighborhoods if you're a foodie or into Asian restaurants. Loy, are you kidding me? Sent 50 Johnny Strides gift memberships. What? What? I gotta read that again here. Normally I read off all the new members and welcome them to the channel. I'm gonna have to redo the end credits at my video. Let me just step out of the way here for a second and double check that. Holy cow, Loy, welcome aboard to all of the new members. That is the single most generous membership gifting of all time. Thank you, Loy. As my nose starts to run, let me fix that. Don't want to make a bad impression on all these new members. That's the beauty of the cold weather. 5-0, holy cow. I cannot thank you enough for that. That is just unbelievable. So there's going to be usually once a month, sometimes twice a month, there's a members exclusive video, and I do a members update, but also in the chat you get that cool little logo beside your name. If you don't want to support directly through YouTube, you can support through Patreon. It's basically the same benefits, but the members video comes on Patreon and you don't get the cool little badge, but you do get the ability to message me. I think those are the silver message, or that's the baseline membership, which is about $5 a month, right? Thank you. Holy cow. And I put all the members' names who support the channel, members and Patreon supporters, in the closing credits of my videos. And I update that every 2 weeks because it's a little bit of work, but with all these new members, I might just update that tonight. We also got a ton of new members over New Year's. Mark D gifted some members. Some people joined. On Taiwan. It's got Taiwan in the name, but it's a Hong Kong fusion cafe. Man, I would love to live in this neighborhood with all this food. And they got an H-Mart. Greetings, Richard. Thank you, Loy. I don't know if you accidentally typed an extra 0 on there. This stream easily has the highest percentage of members viewing a stream ever. Lisa says I don't live that far from this neighborhood. Like 4 stops away, but long stops. I live at Eglinton, so go to Lawrence, go to York Mills, Shepherd, that's 3, North York 4, Finch 5. Dear Saigon, there's where I went after a live stream once. And just had the most amazing bowl of beef noodle soup. And fun fact, in 2007, the year I packed up and moved to Korea, I worked in that building straight ahead. I worked for a company called AXA. I was a commercial underwriter. That was my first commercial insurance job. So I was just a little minnow swimming upstream back then. I was doing small business. I worked for the Reflex small business team. And where I came from, personal lines, that was one of the big goals. Everyone wants to get out of personal lines and go into commercial because there's just so much more opportunity to grow into. And I did it. And then I selfishly wanted to go live in Korea, so I quit after a year. It was an excellent, excellent place to work. I was doing well there. I was in line to move up to mid-market. But, you know, had to scratch that itch and go live overseas. Yeah, this lady's getting hung up. And I'd often come out on my lunch breaks with coworkers and go to the Korean restaurant right across the street. Nakwan, I believe it's called. But when I worked here, I lived down in the St. Lawrence neighborhood. And halfway through that, I moved to Koreatown. But this was the job that got me to get rid of my car. I had a almost brand new car. It was just 2 years old. And I gave it up when I realized I can just take the subway to work now. Because when I moved to the St. Lawrence neighborhood, I was living or working in St. Lawrence, but living in the St. Lawrence neighborhood, working in Etobicoke. Jeanette, for an evening snacky while you work on the members and credits. Jeanette! I think you just bought my dinner, but we'll say snacky. Thank you so much, Jeanette. I'll probably have a coffee when I'm working on that. Maybe dump some Baileys in there, but thank you so much. Thank you. We are north of Finch now.
No, this is not
Another Keiru San Desu, $5. What made you come back to Canada after living in my home country? This is for your dessert. Keiru. 고맙습니다. Thank you. What made me come back? Whoops. Well, I was only supposed to go to Korea for a year. I was teaching. I'm not really a teacher, or am I really qualified to do it, but I quite loved it there. And I came back and I see another super chat, I'll address that in a second, Moxie Man. And I got offered a job when I came back at a company. It was Chubb Insurance. It was like good salary. I think it was like 75K-ish, 4 weeks benefits. But right when I had that job offer, I got contacted by someone I knew saying there was a really good school in Korea looking to have a teacher, and they put in a good word for me, and it was like a really good apartment at Gangnam Station. So I went back to Korea thinking I was going back for 1 more year, and I ended up there for 4 more years. So it was like 5 years in total that I was in Korea. Absolutely love it. I've been back like 4 times since. I'll be back soon again, I'm sure. I just love it. But thank you so much for the super. And Moxie Man, $22. I just went to flip the camera around. It was already around. Moxie Man, thank you so much. Cheers to you. Johnny learned to speak Korean. What little Korean I know has left the vocabulary. I used to be proficient enough to be able to like order stuff without any struggles. I used to be able to tell the cab driver how to take me home without ripping me off. Hongdae to Gangnam-yeok. But thank you, Kairu. Thank you, Moxie Man. Yeah, I think I've been to Korea 2 or 3 times while I ran this channel alone. And if you know me, you know I always just go back to the same countries over and over again. That's just how I am. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Korea again, possibly this year, if not next year, for sure. Moxie Man says it will come back. Math Doctors is here. Howdy do, polar bears. Howdy do, Math Doctors. There's the bus terminal. Not the TTC bus terminal. That is just south of here at Finch. That is the Go Bus and York Region bus terminal. Those blue buses you see. Was I an insurance underwriter at Chubb? No, that was the place that I interviewed with right when I got back to Canada. I started pumping out my resume. Those were awkward interviews. So you got a job doing commercial insurance? Yes. It went really well, yes. And then you quit after a year, yes. And then you worked in Korea for 5 years, yes. Convince me that you're not just gonna do some shenanigans on this job. Actually, no, I was only gone for a year. I guess we're going north a little bit. Viva Bus. Keiru says so much more comfortable and cleaner. This whole stretch north of Finch is really starting to get redeveloped. There will be a subway extension going north. Unfortunately, it is not stopping at Old Comer. It's going all the way up to Steeles. And the alignment going into Richmond Hill is pretty stupid. Rather than just following Yonge Street, it's going to require some very deep tunneling and take quite the detour, which is going to make it much more expensive to build. And there's a lot of concern that the morning rush hours are so busy. Especially, I remember going south at Eglinton in the morning. Half the trains you couldn't even get on. They were so packed that if they get loaded up with people from Richmond Hill and Markham, the people trying to get on the train in Toronto might not even get a spot. So I think what they would do is insert empty trains at Finch and maybe Eglinton. As a workaround to that during rush hour. But that's probably like 20 years away at this rate. There's an electric bus. There used to be a plaza in on the right here that had a bowling alley, it had a big supermarket, it had a Canada Computers, it had a really good congee restaurant. But they're getting a pretty big H-Mart coming soon. But I remember walking through here in the summer thinking, why did they build just this giant wide sidewalk and have no greenery and no benches? This isn't going to be a very pleasant area if they don't spruce it up a little bit. Hey, Tous les Jours is coming. Authentic Bakery. That's a Korean French-themed bakery, much like Paris Baguette or Paris Baguette. It's kind of crazy seeing those brands spring up in Toronto. Are my work friends real friends? Do I hang out after business hours? Some of them. One of them I went to Thailand with. And I made some videos and live streams with him. You might remember, what did we call him, Bart? I think one of my favorite live streams I did ever was on the beach at Koh Samet. And he was way out there on the paddleboard. I was just chilling in the beach lounger, getting drunk. Good evening, Greg Keating. Barbecue, chicken, and pub across the street. So this is where there should be a future TTC stop. It's kind of close to North York, but you're still going to need regular bus service, which I guess, no, I don't think that the Steeles bus line will probably just stop at Yonge and Steeles. It'll no longer have to come south down to Finch. And maybe there'll be no more Steeles East and West buses. It'll just be a Steeles bus. I don't really know how that would work. I'm not the only one who thinks it's quite dumb. There's not going to be a subway stop here. Greetings, Kyle Walker. Oh, 593 of you. If you want to do me a favor, hit that like button or dislike and leave a comment. Subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell to be notified when I go live, usually 3-4 times a week. I'm trying to take things easier in January. Is the donaire place any good? I don't know. Maybe someone can chime in. Taksim donaire? Spicy and savory. JoJo's Hot Pot. Bella Gin Hair. Korean barbecue with skewers. That's not a dalgane, but it looks kind of similar to one. So what I think I'll do is just march all the way up to Steele's, where Centerpoint Mall is. And that'll be that. I have to hop on the subway and go in the other direction because there's a video I still want to make tonight. Korean food is unrivaled. It's certainly excellent. You can put me down as a fan. Yeah, this area coming up has a big Persian and Middle Eastern influence. There's also 1,001 currency exchange centers. But you can see it's a lot more suburban than where I was south of here. All these plazas have parking in front. Brown donkatsu. I could go for some katsudon tonight. Keiru says, the fry, Korean fried chicken in this hood is the goat. Of all the fries in town, this is your favorite, the fry? I'm a big fan of that Chimak restaurant. There's another dalgane. There's like a million of those. But if you haven't tried the fry, it's excellent. Pizza Maru. It's an Asian pizza chain over there, and a Katsuya. Brown donkatsu is amazing, a little pricey, but so good. Is that the place that has the ginormous servings? I think it is. I went to it on Dundas Street, right downtown. And there was two of us. And we couldn't even eat like half of what they gave us. And we were full grown ass adults. They were giant portions. It was delicious. Maxilla Dental. Yonge St Hair Art. I think this is the plaza with the most currency exchange centers in the world. Delta Exchange, Cash for Gold. There's two more currency exchange right there with their lights off. Kean Exchange, it's like 4. Toronto Exchange, 5. Darby-ish Exchange, 6. Paddy Exchange, 7. Kadar Exchange, 8. Shahan Exchange, that's 9 exchange places in this one plaza alone so far. And there might be some more up there with their lights off that I can't see. And yes, plenty of exchange services across the street. Oh, there's another exchange. That's 10. And another one, Currency X Exchange. 11 currency exchange places. White money. I think that's 12. Why do you have 12 currency exchange places in one plaza? And what do you see across the street? Crypt Royal Exchange, another money exchange. There's like 4 more right there. Are people from the Middle East just rolling up with stacks and stacks of cash? Like, those places do not give you a good rate if you're getting your money exchanged at a currency counter. That is bad news. It's okay if you're like a tourist and you're just changing a few $100 so you can have some local spending money. If you're changing big amounts of cash, you are getting fleeced. Someone said, Euro Nations is probably all fronts. I don't want to make any accusations. Maybe there's a country in the Middle East that doesn't have a very trustworthy or maybe globally integrated banking system. So they can't just like get an international ATM card or set up a wire transfer. That would be my hunch. I don't know, maybe if someone knows about the Iranian banking system and the countries in that area, could that be it? Kairu got their humble Mazda 3 at this car dealership. I know someone who has a Mazda 3. Humble car would be the way to go. Nothing says lighting money on fire like unnecessarily buying a better car than you need. Mazda Toronto. Someone says it's soon to be 7. If you're watching, Ken, and you have your premiere for 7:15, I don't think we're in much jeopardy. I'm tempted to go eat up near Centerpoint Mall. Krista says Iran has a lot of financial sanctions imposed on it, so they have have to travel directly. Maybe that has something to do with all the currency counters. Lisa found a Reddit thread about all the currency exchange places. Oh, there's an emergency vehicle coming, but it's a ways back there. And it just let up on the... Oh, there it goes. The siren going again. One of the great things about transit on this stretch is you never have to wait for a bus. There's always one within a few minutes. That ambulance is flying. There's Centerpoint Mall across the street. That was a mall that was doomed to meet the wrecking ball. There was a massive redevelopment plan for it, but I think those plans have been kiboshed. Henry from Toronto Tech and Transit said he got good word from someone he knew who runs a place in there. He told him the mall has been spared for now. LCBO. Nangman. Interesting name. Hair salon. All of those people waiting for the bus in the middle of the sidewalk. There's where the bay used to be. I wonder what they're going to do with that big space. Apgujeong. Apgujeong is like a high-end area in Seoul. For the love of Pete, please answer Martin. What am I missing here? Johnny, do you do binaural videos, or is a noisy city not the best for that? I don't do them because I narrate. So I'd rather be a fixed distance from one microphone. If I did silent videos where I just shut up, I would 100% be into that. Binaural simulates what you hear out of your head. Stereo is just left and right, but it doesn't account for the fact that in between your ears you have your brain, and your skull and some other stuff. So the way you hear sound and process it through the left and right channels is a lot different than just having a stereo mic recording. So binaural records it much the way you hear things in real life. So it's a different kind of immersive form of stereo audio. I think Watched Walker does it. That's a London-based channel. Sorry guys, when I'm walking and trying not to trip over myself, I can't read every chat. Yes, I've been to that market. I went there my first year, I think. I don't remember it all that well. There's the 60 bus. So I'm probably going to be getting on one of those southbound 60 buses. Could be the east or the west. Doesn't really matter. But straight ahead on the right side is the city of Markham. On the left side, the city of Vaughan. And on the south side of Steeles, Toronto. Now, I remember during the pandemic, it was possible to eat at a restaurant and get a haircut north of Steeles, but south of Steeles you could not. The geniuses at the provincial government determined that there was a magic barrier right here that COVID couldn't cross. And I remember recording from this intersection, just watching people flow from one side of it to another, thinking, how stupid is this? You're punishing all these Toronto-based businesses and just forcing people to like go even further. But for a very weird, dark period of time, that was actually a thing. Thrilla says, I'm up the road from Johnny right now, so this is really neat to see. I bet a lot of people in different areas love to see him so close to their area. It's a cool perspective. This is easily one of my most visited areas in North York. North York is huge, but if you see it in the title of someone's live stream, chances are they're talking about Willowdale and just north of Finch up to Steeles. So if I wanted to, I could have crossed the street and we could have headed into Markham. Yeah, that whole area to the north of here is known as Thornhill. And there's where I got my GPU that powers my PC. I got a Radeon RX 9070 over at Canada Computers over there, right after it came out. It's been a nice little beast. In fact, you are watching this stream via that 9070. I have a dedicated streaming live server, but sometimes I'm too lazy and just use my desktop PC. And that is what we're doing tonight on this one. I've got some bad news. I've got mild back pain again, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was the last time. Then again, I haven't been walking as long. Last time I recorded a video before this, but the good news is it's not that bad. But we made it all the way up to Center Point. But I'm gonna jump on the next TTC bus going south. So on that note, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Loy for a couple of super chats and gifting 50 channel memberships. Holy cow, 50 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard to all 50 new channel members. I want to thank our mods, Patreon supporters, and channel members, everyone who sent support. You guys were awesome. I'm going to get the southbound 60 bus, which will be here in a few minutes. Or one of these other buses, the 53 or 97. I'm going to get one of them, but huge thanks to our mods, Patreon supporters. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get a video up on the channel for tomorrow. Math Doctor says, too bad we don't burn calories watching these. You do, you just don't burn that many. Oh, there's my bus. So I'm gonna put this stuff away and get on my bus. Thank you so much, guys. Hit the bell to be notified when I go live next. Yoink.